There we go. All right.
Oh, hey.
Hi, guys.
Oh, welcome to Sports Shorts and more.
We are not Chris and Bill. Not at all.
No, no, not at all. No.
Yeah.
I mean, without the mask.
Yeah. So Chris and Bill are out this week, so we are taking over. There's a lot that has been going on in sports. I mean,
Oh,
we
yes.
just got
Lots of stuff.
all of the results of the seed picks for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah. So there are some surprising ones. Let me see if I can pull up the bracket again. But UC and Xavier are both out,
Oh, wow.
which is the first time in 36 years
Really?
that they've both been out of the tournament, which
Wow.
is insane.
Yeah, usually, there's one of them in
At
there.
least, yeah,
At least one.
at least one.
Wow. That was Xavier was out, and
Yeah.
UC Bearcats are out.
Yeah.
What about Ohio State?
So from what I understand, Ohio State is out,
Oh, wow.
I think. Let me find the bracket.
Wow. That's just not a good day for that was not a
Ohio
good day
is
for
not happy
Ohio,
with
was it? Not a good day at all.
So yeah, I mean the game um that Xavier had.
Did you watch the game?
I watched their game. It was last week, I believe, and I think they played Baylor. That's right. OSU is a 2 seed. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a close game, and that was really stressful.
Wow. Well, tell us, why was it so stressful?
Well,
I didn't get to see the game. Sorry, guys,
Yeah.
but I didn't get to see the game.
So, Xavier, they had a good lead at the half. I think they had a 14-point lead at the half.
Wow, that's a lot.
And then the second half, they just kept going back and forth. They would be within 2 points and 1 point, and then I think it was Baylor that they played. Baylor would, take the lead, and they would just switch back and forth the whole time.
Back and forth. Okay.
And then, of course, towards the end, the refs had some interesting calls.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. The
And
refs had some interesting calls.
it
So
happens
some
a
of the
lot.
yeah, I'm sure it does. It's kind of like umpires,
Yeah, it's
interesting calls. Do you think that the calls affected the score?
I think they did because there was particularly I think within the last minute there was a call against one of the Xavier players, and I can't remember what the call was, but it was some sort of like defensive, like having his hands up and everything.
Yeah.
And they called it a foul. And sometimes the refs just act like players are like made of glass. But it's a contact sport.
Yeah, exactly. It is a contact sport. It's not like football, but it's definitely there is contact being made.
Yeah. I mean, and
oh yeah, I agree.
There's a difference between defense and an actual foul.
Yes.
So,
and you felt that, the ref did not know the difference or couldn't distinguish the difference between a foul and defensive move.
Yeah. Well, and this game they went into overtime, and Xavier had to win this game to get into the NCAA tournament. And towards the end, like everyone is just like super worked up and super, stressed and nervous about how things are going to turn out.
Right.
So, it stinks, but at the same time, that's going to tend to be when people make mistakes, whether it's the players, the rest. It's going to be when the energy is really high and your
stress is really high. Yeah, you're just, a lot of pressure on you, a lot of pressure on the players, a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
And, well, that's what just separates the men from the boys, as they say.
Yeah. So some of the interesting seeds So the one seeds were Gonzaga and then Baylor, and Illinois, Michigan. So those are pretty interesting. I always like when either in the NCAA tournaments or in the college football playoffs. I really enjoy when teams who aren't always at the top
Ah,
get in.
yes. You get some
Because
underdogs in there.
yeah, because I hate
Yeah.
when it's season after season.
It's
It's
the
like
same
it's Alabama,
two,
it's
same
OSU.
two teams.
Yeah,
Like it's boring after a while.
yeah. Huh? Yeah, they're a 2 seed.
Mhm.
So they're still up there, but it is kind of nice to
Oh, yeah,
see some
yeah,
different teams in there and kind of switch it
yeah,
up a
yeah.
little
Oh,
bit.
yeah, I think so too. It's the same with the same with baseball. I mean, everybody gets tired of the Yankees winning all the time. The
Exactly.
evil empire, as I
Yeah,
call them.
that's a good way to put it, honestly.
Yes. And with soccer, we call it soccer. In England, they call it football.
Mm-hmm.
Manchester United is
Always.
always winning. I have a
So,
friend who lives in England. She
yeah.
lives in up north. I can't think of it now that my brain just stopped working. Because they love their football.
Yeah.
They love their football, and and it's just a hoot. But yeah, that's what she says a lot of. It's always Manchester United. It's always
Yeah.
winning.
Well, and my favorite team in the English Premier League is Liverpool. So I love when Liverpool comes
yeah.
in and kind of takes the cake.
Middlesbrough.
Oh yeah,
That's where she's from.
there you go.
Yeah,
Awesome.
because they always say, they're always have these hand gestures, and they're always like, up the burrow is what they say, I guess that means, good, that's what she told me,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's not something I would have done, but,
Exactly.
but, she loves it, and
Yeah.
they have some pretty rowdy times at those
Oh
games.
yeah. I mean, I know that one day I want to go and
Me too.
see a couple English Premier League games
Yes,
because
same here.
I love soccer in the US, but at the same time, no one is as loud as I want them to be.
Right.
Like I want to go to an English Premier League game and
Yes.
scream my head off.
Yes, that's
and
what they
just
do.
and then see if people do the same thing.
That's what I asked my friend. I asked my friend Tina. She's in Middlesbrough. And if you're watching, Tina, hi. And we have this cultural exchange we've had for years
Yeah.
and years. We've known each other for like 12 years or something.
Wow.
And we've done the cultural exchange. She actually sent me a Manchester United jersey.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you're like,
but it's okay, it's okay. So because I naturally I sent her a Cincinnati Reds,
yeah.
Jersey,
Yeah.
and a then a Cincinnati Bengals. I told her we don't have a soccer team at the time. We didn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. And she tells me all kinds of crazy things that go on at these
these
football games. I mean, they're out there.
Goodness.
They're out there singing,
They're
and
having a time of their life.
dancing, and they're singing songs, and you can't tell what they're saying, but it's you just hear a lot of cheering.
They're just loud and proud.
Yeah, and you talk about the most e- exciting crowd thing with baseball is when they used to do the wave. Yay! If you're old enough to remember that, but it is a hoot.
Yeah.
That's what she says. It's just a hoot.
You love going to the games where you have to work hard to match the energy of the rest of the fans in the stands. You don't want to feel like you have to pull yourself back because everyone else is just, not as excited.
Yeah, those fans are rowdy. That's what she tells me. She says they are very, very rowdy. Rowdy is a good word. Oh, yes. And it's just watching the fans and being, there is actually like a side entertainment.
Yeah.
There's stuff that's going on the field. There's action going on the field, but there's also a lot of, people watching.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and they're just so happy. Like, even if their team loses, they are still just, like I said, screaming at the top of their lungs. Like, I mean, yeah, if they lose 10 games in a row, they might be a little mad, but
Yeah, that's
like
true.
they just have like a really good energy. And I mean, especially when, you either don't know a ton of things about football or soccer or you do, like you can still feel like,
Yeah.
you can follow along and just go
Yeah,
along.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is pretty easy, you know.
Yeah,
You only have like two ends of the field and one ball.
soccer's pretty straightforward, guys.
Yeah, definitely. What are some of your other favorite teams in football?
So I love Chelsea. I love
Good old
Liverpool.
Chelsea.
Um,
Liverpool. Yes,
I do
yes.
love Crystal Palace, but I'm still sad that when they came to Cincinnati, they beat us.
Oh.
But that's okay. I mean, we were still in minor league soccer, so it's okay.
Oh, all right.
But I am incredibly excited because we were just talking about how opening day is April 1st.
Yes.
And
See, I got my shirt on today.
There you go.
I don't know if you can read it, but it says,
Where there's
there is baseball, there is hope.
I like it.
The world needs more hope right
Yeah.
now.
Well, and it's perfect because the Reds start April 1st.
Yep.
And then FC Cincinnati starts April 3rd.
Woo-hoo!
So that entire week is just going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to get to see we're going to get to see the stadium.
The new stadium.
Yeah,
We have a new stadium in case there are people from out of town. We have
We'll
a
take it
new
under a wall.
stadium. Yeah, that's true. You'd have to be.
It's pretty big.
It's very big, and they just plunked it right down in what's the area town?
They're in the West End, so they're kind of over the Rhine, but you gotta keep going towards the west side of Cincinnati.
Okay.
And they were just doing like the LED light testing on the outside the other day.
Oh, cool.
So they have like this big, huge wraparound, like kind of like a jumbotron, and it's on the outside of the stadium. And they were testing those lights yesterday. But I mean, they're pretty close to it being done, and it looks very cool. It's going to be very exciting. And hopefully we have a good season for FC Cincinnati. Hopefully.
Yes. Now, who plays? Who is going to be our competition, I should say. I'm used to baseball terms. Forgive me. How does it work with that? I mean, how many games are in a season? Do we have like a North or a National League, an American League, or what do we have?
So they're kind of split up into different conferences. But obviously things are a little different right now with COVID. So the plan is, and this is directly from fccincinnati.com. So the MLS season will begin on Saturday, April 3rd, and feature 34 matches for each of the league's 27 clubs. Yeah. So we will have 34 matches, which is
In the season.
In the season, yeah, which is good. And then obviously, if FC Cincinnati gets to the playoffs, then we'll have those playoff games as well. So yeah, my hope for this season is that FC Cincinnati kind of solidifies their team, because I think since they've started, even when they were in the minor leagues, they were constantly getting new players. They had like 3 coaches in the period of 5 years. I mean, there was so much change and transition going
That's a lot of
on
turnaround.
while also going from the minors to the major leagues.
Yeah.
So it was so difficult to feel like they had a solid season, because they just, I mean, at the very least, they're not getting to know their teammates. They're not getting to figure out, what kind of tricks and everything are best for their teammates.
You got to have some cohesion.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to know each other. You got to work as a team.
Yeah,
Together.
exactly. And it's actually kind of exciting because I live out near where their training complex is in Milford. So we've been able to see them do some of their preseason training.
Okay.
See them get started. And yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting season, because last season obviously got kind of messed up with COVID.
Everybody's season got messed
Yeah.
up last year.
And
Everybody.
yeah, it was rough.
It was
And
worldwide too.
exactly.
Here in the Midwest.
Yeah. So hopefully, they've kind of got this new routine under their belt and then they can, get some things figured out. So
Okay, now does FC Cincinnati, do they have spring training?
yes. So they started February 22nd. And so they've been training for a couple weeks now, almost a month.
Good.
And their spring training sometimes is a little shorter than baseball. I think baseball, because of how many games they do in spring training, it ends up being
162.
a little longer and everything like that.
Yeah, they have 162 games, so
Yeah, they got a little more training to do.
training, but I speaking of spring training, it's coming up.
Yeah.
It's coming up 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
No, it's down to the days now, isn't it?
16 days.
16
yeah. Until opening
days.
day.
Yay!
And I mean, we won't have a parade, but I mean,
Ooh.
we'll
Oh,
have official Reds baseball on the TV.
Now, because this is Cincinnati, and this means the Cincinnati Reds, are the oldest team in the league. That's why, we always have such a monumentous parade.
Well, and that's why opening day is always at home.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
they're the first, so we get to always have our opening days at home.
Yep.
Which is really nice, and I like that. Because it always seems to start off the season right, no matter how the season ends up.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and it is a crazy day.
Yeah.
I think didn't they like the other day or last year or a couple years ago, didn't the city make it an official holiday?
Oh yeah. As far as I know, it's been an official holiday for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, that means kids are out of school, businesses shut down, everything is made just for this day.
Oh yeah.
That's how big of a deal it is for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I remember being in school and when the game would come on, they would just stop teaching and they'd turn the TV on in the classroom.
Well, I remember last summer when the Reds were, potentially able to get into the playoffs and everything like that. I remember people sitting up in Angela's room and just staring at the TV and like checking every 5 minutes to see if like they won. And
I remember that.
That was
was probably one of those people.
You and I were both in there.
Yep.
And
true hardcore baseball fan.
Yeah. It's nice because baseball, especially the Reds, like opening day, it really says like summertime and um having those kind of relaxing days where it's like, oh, it's 75 degrees. I'm just gonna open all the windows and listen to the Reds game.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, those are some good days right there. There's some very fond memories of that. Oh yes, many, many, many times.
Yeah.
There's just there's nothing quite like it to, sit on the porch, have the game on, and listen to the crickets.
Oh yeah, and then and then if you're a true Cincinnati German, then you go get some brats and Mets and maybe have some Geta, and you do the whole thing. That's the way to do it.
That's definitely Cincinnati food.
Yeah.
I have a friend that lives in Hilton Head Island, and they have never heard of a brat. They don't know what brats are.
Brats are so good.
I know. And they do not know what Geta is. I know.
That's a travesty.
It is.
That's so sad.
When I went down to visit her, that was her number one request. Please bring some Geta.
Yeah.
So, and naturally, I couldn't just go to any place and get the Geta. I had to go. Yes. So I go there and I told the man, I want all the Geta that you have. And he's like, seriously? And I said, no, really, I want all the Geta that you have.
Oh, yeah.
Even the stuff in the freezer, and he's like, what do you plan to do with all this stuff? Do you mind if I ask? And I said, I don't mind, And I said, I have a friend that lives in Hilton Head and she requested get as
Mhm.
much as you can bring.
Oh,
So
yeah.
fortunately, I'm driving because like there's no way I could get that thing
Oh,
on the
no.
plane. There's no way I'm get that thing on the
TSA would be a
plane.
little concerned.
Yeah, they stole my peanut butter last time.
Your peanut butter,
I had a peanut butter in jar. It was sealed. It was not open,
and
and
they
they
stole
stole
it.
it.
Oh my god.
They say they confiscated it.
They
They
just
stole
wanted
it.
a snack.
I think the guy was hungry, personally.
I mean, it's peanut butter.
Yeah,
It's
it's
understandable.
not like it was open or tampered with. No,
Yeah.
it's never been opened. They always tell you that, don't open it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and I said, why are you taking it? Oh, well, we can't scan through it. It's too thick of a liquid, so we can't scan through it. I said, you can scan through my bag and tell if what kind of underwear I have. But you can't scan through, the peanut butter jar? Seriously? I think they were hungry.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
You were never gonna see that Jeff again as soon as he saw it.
Mm-mm.
He's like, it's mine now.
Yeah, tell me about it. And there's other things that they take too.
Oh yeah.
But we won't go into that.
That's a whole other story.
That's a whole nother story.
So what other sports stuff is going on that you're really excited about?
Well, I'm very, 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 very excited about baseball starting because I'm a huge baseball fan.
Yes.
Just huge baseball fan. I am such a hardcore baseball fan that I record baseball games so I can watch them in January.
Well, that's a great idea.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I knew you'd love that
You see
idea.
all the sun in the background and everything feels normal.
Yes.
And you can look outside and see 6 inches of snow and you're like, nope, it's baseball time.
Baseball time. That's right. I record them and I play them. Years ago, I used to have to record them, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Not since, MLB Network came out, which is
Yeah.
quite a few years ago. I'm dating myself. I remember the time before that. And you used to have to record them on a VCR. And then you'd have to play them, in January. But now, through the wonders of technology, all you got to do is just, push a button and there's all kinds of games you can select.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is that great or what?
We're really excited because my family is Reds fans. We like the Red Sox as well, kind of for their history.
Amen. Yes. I knew you were a Red Sox fan. I knew you would be a Red Sox fan. I just knew it. I knew it. We got kindred spirits. Oh, yeah, definitely. I almost wore my Red Sox shirt today. I almost would. I was going, well, I'm going to wear my baseball shirt, because it's got Red Sox colors,
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, definitely. Oh, yes.
We love it just because,
Huge
like,
fan.
we got, like, the history side of it with, like, how it's been around so long, kind of like the Reds, and then, like, it's just had so many
much
good
heartbreak.
players.
Such
So much
heartbreak.
heartbreak, yes.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that was a heartbreak. 84 years between World Series championships.
At least it's not the Cubs.
Yes.
And we don't even talk about the Pirates.
Well, it was 108 years for the Cubs.
Yeah.
108 years. At least it hasn't been that long for the Reds.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's been
quite a while.
To tell you how long it's been, I have not been alive since. Because that was 1990 that they had their last World Series.
Yes, you're right.
I was 1998. I have not been alive for a Reds World Series run. And that
makes me feel old. I was at the World Series in 1990.
Oh, that must have been amazing.
It was. It was really cool. Yeah.
What I wouldn't give to have the Reds go to the World Series, especially for Joey Votto. Give that man the trophy.
Yes, exactly. He deserves it.
He has been stuck happily with the Reds, even through some of our worst seasons.
Yeah.
And we still can't get him a medal. We still can't get him a trophy and a celebration. And I want that so badly for him.
Oh, yeah, because he's such a good guy.
He's awesome.
He really is.
He truly is a Cincinnati kind of guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he has COVID right now, I think is what I heard. But
He'll be fine.
yeah, so
He'll be
hopefully
fine.
he'll be okay for opening day.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be great. No worries.
Yeah,
I have a good feeling about their season this year.
I
I
do too.
really do. I have a very good feeling about it
Yeah.
because it's a new team, it's a young team,
Mhm.
and they have, all this new prospects and they have all this new energy and it's just gonna be great.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I think, the frustrating thing for so many years is it always switches between, okay, well, we need better pitchers, and no one can hit a run to save their life.
Right. They're
And
always swinging for the fences.
exactly. And I
It's like,
feel
come
like
on, guys.
I feel
Really?
like this year we might have some balance to where we have good pitchers and we can have, people that can get us singles, doubles, and,
Yeah.
switch it up kind of.
Exactly. Fundamentals.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the fundamentals of baseball.
Yes.
Get them on, get them over, get them in.
Yeah.
Simple. Hit the ball, run to the base. Get
Yeah.
somebody on first base. Then he steals second. Then the guy steals third, and get a base hit and he's home.
Be creative, take risks.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they hit a grand slam, I'm not going to be mad.
Right.
But at the same time, we shouldn't be going up to the plate every single time expecting that we're going to hit a grand
Right.
slam.
Because you don't.
Because, I mean,
You don't.
probability-wise, that's just not possible.
And they need to be scrubby. They need to dig down and get those runs, get
Yeah.
those hits, run out those bases, steal bases, do a lot of different, like be risky,
Yeah.
do things that are like that. And they haven't done that in the past.
Yeah.
But now they have a good young team, and they also have veterans, like you mentioned.
They got the mentors that can
like Joey,
help people get settled.
Oh yeah, and that's what makes a good team. It's a good balance. Because balance is everything.
Well, and I think they switched out the right aspects, like the right problem areas that they had with the Reds that almost got them into, the deeper part of the playoffs and everything like that.
Right.
So you switch up those problem areas and, we were able to get almost to October last season. So when you fix those mistakes, then you're expecting yourself to go even further this season.
Yep.
So,
oh yeah.
What's up, Melvin? The Reds?
Rays.
Rays.
The Dodgers and the Rays? Yeah, I remember the Rays, Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Isn't it like a 1-game playoff?
Wasn't their last game in the playoff also went into 14 innings or something ridiculous like that?
I don't remember. I'm
Like
sorry.
they were tied and they just kept going and
Yes, I remember that.
They were into 15 innings.
You're right. That does jog my memory. Yes, it did. It went into it was in the ninth, bottom of the ninth. They tied it, and then it went into the 10th.
Yeah, we're all sitting there waiting.
It went into the 11th and it stayed tied. It went into the 12th and stayed tied, and we're all standing there, like, okay, come on, do something because we're about ready to close here.
Yeah.
The building's about ready to close down. And that's always going to happen. It seems like it happens to me. It's like you wait, watch and watch and watch and all the 4.5 hours, and then finally, it's like, oh, and then, you get home and you find out, oh, they won.
Yeah.
Or they lost. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like Randy Johnson was 6'10". Remember Randy Johnson? Remember Randy Johnson? Yeah, played for the Seattle. He was 6'10". Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Y-
I
Uh-huh.
agree.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not worried about it at all. Yeah. You get that first that yep. Yeah, but if you see a good pitch, hit it. You know, keep it loose. Yeah. Opening
Mm.
day, the opening the season with the Cardinals. Usually it's Atlanta or Pittsburgh, but
Yeah.
wow, that is amazing when they start the season with the Cardinals. Yeah, you're right because the Cardinals are they're in the same league and it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But it the first month, April's always where you're figuring things out, figuring what gels, who gels with who, and what does this and what does that, and yeah, so it's always good. Yes, yeah, the Cubs. Oh, the Astros, I remember
Oh,
that.
the trash cans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Right. Yep. Oh yeah. And I think they're just going to have a good team because everybody is nobody's expecting them to win, nobody's expecting them to do anything, and that's why they're going to come out of nowhere and start winning all these games, and everybody's like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
Cincinnati's got a good team, well, yeah, yeah,
Well, and how far they fought in that they fought in that playoff game. I mean, going 14, 15 innings, just
yeah,
trying to win. Like they didn't give up.
no,
They were really, really trying to get that win.
scrappy young ball team.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just like Boston. Remember the year Boston? Uh, uh, the what is it? The one year the Boston had the guys with all the beards. You know, yeah, those guys, and that's what they were called. They were called the scrappy, the Red Sox with all the beards. Remember that? And they were called the scrappy guys. Yes, they did. They had very good power hitters. Oh, they went into it with that whole philosophy of, we're going to win this thing. And I just love that.
Yeah.
That's like some of my favorite, well, probably yours too,
Yeah.
favorite memory was, my favorite memory was '04, is when they won the World Series
Mhm.
for the first time in
Didn't they do a
84
30 for
years.
30 on that?
Yes.
Yeah, I was watching that.
Yes, they did. And but they go to the World Series, but the best part about that whole playoff was when they played the Yankees in the playoffs. The World Series was kind of like just like anticlimactic World Series. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, the big part was
great.
beating the
The
Yankees.
big part was beating the Yankees.
Yeah.
I loved that because I was working at Big Sporting Goods at the time, and I was definitely a Red Sox fan. And there's a guy there. I don't remember his name. Doesn't matter. He was a Yankees fan, and we used to go at this all the time.
Yeah.
Back and forth, back and forth. So when they got into the playoffs and they were playing each other, and he's like, that ain't it ain't gonna happen. The Yankees are gonna win. I was like, nope. Yeah. And they're going down. And so of course, the first game they lose. Second game they lose. And my friend is saying, that's 2-0. Third game, the Red Sox lose. And so my friend's like, he stopped running, strutting around like a proud peacock, thinking that he's got, this and he's got this already, And I'm like, ain't gonna happen there, folks. They're coming back. And he's like, no, ain't no team ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in the history
Doesn't mean
of
it can't
baseball.
happen.
He's like, there's teams that come back to 3-1 deficit, but never a 3-0 deficit. I said, well, now's the time for that to happen.
Yeah, you're like
it's going to happen.
You're like, it doesn't mean that it can't happen.
That's right. I said, it doesn't mean it can't happen. It will happen. I just knew that was their year. Yeah. I just knew. I don't know how, but I just had this really good feeling. So, sure enough, they won one game, and I went to work and I said, that's one. And he's like, yeah, that's just one. That's one. Yeah, I said, that's one.
Just wait. Okay.
And he goes, oh, yeah. All the Yankees got to do is win one game, and they've got 3 chances to do it. And I said, it's still the Red Sox are still in this. They won the second game, and I went to work and said, "That's 2."
Getting a little more nervous.
He's getting a little more nervous now. And then they won the third game, and I went to work again, and I was like, "That's 3." I said, "Series is tied up there, pal." I said, "Now what do you think?" It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen, And sure enough, it did. So I definitely went to work the next day.
That's 4.
That's 4. That means, the Yankees got, that's pretty bad. They only had 1 chance to win. They had 4 chances basically to win 1 game. Yeah. They couldn't do it. I said, oh yeah, I ribbed him about that for a long, long time, because he was a fan of the evil empire, and then they go on to the World Series and they play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals shouldn't even just bothered showing up.
Well, yeah, that was.
They laid down, rolled over, and died. Basically,
the Red Sox had so much momentum that
the
Cardinals were just like, well, we're done.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals walked into there, defeated before they even started the game.
Yeah,
so it's kind of anticlimactic.
Well, it's kind of hard to watch the team that you're going to be playing beat the Yankees as brutally as they did. And
they did.
Like, really did.
They didn't just, beat them. They trumped their butt. Yeah. I mean, there was no question about that. Absolutely. It was like zip, gone, done. Yeah, that's right, Tony. Oh, that was pretty good. Yeah, I enjoyed that the most. Yep. Yeah. And hit the tip of the bat. And it just went, and then the catcher ran after it, the pitcher ran after it. There's people running around the bases. Yeah, 2 runs scored on that one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The 77, they did, the Dodgers played the Yankees in 77 and 78. That's right. 77 and 78, because the Reds won in 75, 76.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The Reds played the Red Sox in 75, and then the Reds came back and played the Yankees in 76. Yeah, they beat them. That's been a while.
Well, the Reds weren't in the World Series in '78.
Yeah, they were. No, I'm sorry. My bad. 75 and 76, the Reds were in the World Series.
And then 77 and
77 and 78 was when the Dodgers and the Yankees, they played each other in 2 years, consecutive years. And I can't remember I can't remember who won. I remember I was rooting for the Dodgers, definitely rooting for the Dodgers. I have a T-shirt that said, "My favorite team is whoever beats the Yankees." Yeah, in 1990, the Reds played the Oakland A's.
Yeah, I remember
They
that.
played them in the World Series. Yeah, and they battled Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're talking about
Yeah.
in 1990. Mm.
Mhm. It was almost like Miami. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
I will say though, my favorite thing is to see Pittsburgh teams fall apart. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, after what they did to our quarterback, yes.
Well, or I mean,
Yeah.
you think of the fight. What was it, a year or 2 years ago with Amir Garrett and the Pirates, and then Yasiel Puig and the Pirates. I mean,
Yes.
two of the best pictures ever, where it's just Amir Garrett just like arm fully cocked all the way back, just ready to smack the lights out of somebody. And then the other one with Yasiel Puig, where he's on home base and he's fighting off like 5 different Pirates players all at once. Oh my God. If they could put that up in a museum, I would buy
It's
it.
like almost like a hockey game.
Yeah, exactly. It turned into a hockey game real fast.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, it should be, it's going to be a good game. And, you know, it's not that they have a new stadium, but it's going to be good. It's going to be,
Yeah.
it's what I think, the city needs. That'll be really good.
Yeah. Hmm? Who does?
He does this sometimes. Just goes off the break sometimes.
Mm.
You're talking about the Olympics that are coming up. Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Really?
Swim faster than Michael Phelps? That's like saying you'll run faster than Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt. I was just going to say, yeah. Usain Bolt.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ali. Frazier. Foreman. Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
Hmm.
Okay.
I don't know enough fighters.
Frazier. Frazier. Okay. I don't know.
Let's see.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, well, if
Now I gotta know.
anybody out there in our
Larry
studio
Holmes?
audience, Holmes?
Ollie's sparring partner between 1971 and 1975.
Yep, that's him.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Holmes. George Foreman. Oh yeah.
Is that the Geico commercial?
Mm.
I don't know.
Well, yeah. Oh, Chris Collinsworth.
Oh,
Anthony Munoz?
yeah.
Okay.
But he did do a lot of like really cool charitable stuff.
Oh
too.
yes, definitely. And Anthony Munoz, yeah,
And
very
a lot of
a lot of community stuff, a lot of good stuff.
and that was before Furniture Fair, and even when he was in Furniture Fair, he would do a lot of like they would do a lot of like charity things. Be like, oh, if you get this couch, 10% of the profits go to
Oh, that's good.
whatever. So he always did that really cool.
That reminds me. That kind of reminds me of my dad. When Joe DiMaggio. He saw Joe DiMaggio play, actually play the Yankee Clipper, So when he saw him in a commercial, for coffee makers, oh, I remember my dad did not like that at all. He was like, "Oh, that's terrible.
That would be weird.
That was such a great ball player. He was such a great ball player, and now he's selling coffee makers. Oh, that's just terrible. It's a travesty, And I just, as a kid, thinking, what's he got against this guy selling coffee makers for?
Yeah, you didn't understand what's
I
going
didn't
on.
understand, what it was, and yeah, and and when I was a kid, the only person I knew on the Reds team was Sparky, because my dad was always yelling at Sparky. I couldn't name another player on the Reds team except for Sparky.
It was ingrained into your head.
Yes, because he was always yelling at Sparky. Oh, he called him Captain Hook. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tigers. Took on the Tigers. Yep. Yep. He took him to the World Series too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right, right. Oh yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Collinsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a brother too that's in sportscasting. Yeah. I don't know if it's younger brother or older brother. I don't know, but he does have a brother. Yeah, I think it's younger too. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Neon Dion. Uh-huh. Yep. Deion Sanders. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and speaking of sportscasters, we are having a new sportscaster this year, aren't we?
Yes.
And do you want to tell our viewers? Oh, okay. We have a new sportscaster.
Yes, we do.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be what?
What his name was.
Larson?
Um,
Come on, help me out. Who
Yeah.
is going to be our new sportscaster for the Reds?
John Sadak. Sadak.
Sadik? Oh, yes. Sadak.
Yeah.
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 I thought Barry Larkin was. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yes.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Barry Larkin. That's the
Yeah.
one I remember. Okay. Barry Larkin. Oh, definitely, because we all
I
remember
love
Barry
Barry
Larkin.
Larkin.
He's a very classy guy.
He's amazing.
I got to meet him
Oh, that's
a couple
awesome.
times. I got to meet him. He's quiet, very soft spoken, very nice guy, very
Yeah.
nice guy. In fact, their family went to the same Catholic grade school as my family
Oh,
went to.
nice.
Yeah, he was upper. I don't. They were gone by the time I got
Mhm.
there, but yeah, but definitely very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, my dad always made sure that I remembered all the Reds. So like it was like, oh yeah, Pete Rose, David Concepcion,
The big
and
red machine.
yeah, the Big Red Machine. I had to know them.
Yep, I remember
And,
that.
So I grew up like one of my favorite players was Griffey Senior and Griffey Junior.
Yeah, yeah.
And um, funny enough, I love Barry Larkin. Like he is an amazing player, and
Mhm.
I've committed to whenever I get my own dog, the dog is going to be named Larry Barkin.
Oh,
Barkin.
Larry
It's still like Barry
Barkin.
Barkin, but you know,
Oh,
Barkin.
boom.
Exactly. And you know what? I am so willing to see so many disappointed Cincinnati faces feel like you named your dog Larry Barkin. I'm like, yeah. And I'm so proud of myself for that.
I think there's going to be a great team, the two of those together.
Yeah.
Because one, you always have to have, at least I think so, you have to have one of them who actually played the game of
Mhm.
baseball. That's very important.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
you have another guy who knows all about it. And, he gives a different perspective.
Well, and my favorite part is when the commentator actually played with the team that they're commentating for.
Yeah.
It's like they know the ins and outs of this franchise.
Right.
They're gonna know what they're talking
They're going to
about.
have insight.
Yeah. What's up,
Did you-
Melvin? You're good.
That's all the time.
The awards, oh yeah, from the Grammys.
No, this is sports. We're only talking about sports here. No, we're only talking about sports.
Who was who? No, The Weeknd didn't do the show. He boycotted it. You're talking about Trevor Noah, the comedian.
You guys, this is sports. Remember? Sports, yes, we talk about sports. That has to do with sports. That does nothing to do with sports. I'm sorry, but I have to go by the rules. You want to talk yeah. Well, shall we talk about the Olympics? You want to talk about the Olympics that are coming up? Usain Bolt, yeah. Now this is going to be the Summer Olympics, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the Summer Olympics are first, and the Winter Olympics after that. Yeah, this is summer. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Winter Olympics. I'm sorry, guys.
I love the gymnastics, and I love seeing the U.S. women's national team go to the Olympics. Because I
I
mean,
I like
we
I like some of it.
yeah, I love like how they just for the past couple years casually just, oh, we're gonna win gold medal at the Olympics. Oh, we're gonna win the World Cup. Oh, we're gonna win the gold medal at the Olympics. Like they just go back and forth. Like we'll just win everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm excited to see that. Huh? Yeah, we're talking about
What sports? I know, but we have to direct it. Okay.
I'm just saying, if somebody got their list
Yeah,
of
getting off topic there. What is your other favorite summer Olympic sport?
hmm. See, it's hard because there's so many of them, and I know that there's some new ones this year.
Yeah,
Um, uh, I'd say all the swimming
yeah,
is so incredibly interesting to me. Like all of the like the breaststroke and the backstroke and the 400 meter and the
the
diving and the
butterfly and
oh
all
yeah.
that. Yeah,
There's just so much going on with that, and I always think that's so cool, but I have absolutely no idea what any points in any of those
me
mean.
either.
Like they'll dive into the pool and I'm like, I think you did good. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a huge Winter Olympics fan
Those are
because
really cool too.
I love, the downhill. One of my favorite things to watch. The downhill, the bobsled,
The
the
bobsleds,
luge.
the
Oh yes, all the skiing things. All the freestyle.
the bobsled and the luge always scare me, so because they go so fast,
Yeah, you
and
can
I'm
you can
always
see
so
them. You
scared
can see
that
the
they're
little
gonna get hurt.
camera. That's
Yeah,
there.
and they're just sitting there like this. They're like a 2x4.
The luge. The
Oh,
luge, well, I guess the G
scary.
force, pushes them in
Oh,
there,
I'm sure it does.
It's just
Yeah.
like, I mean, the camera they have on those things now, it's just, you can just see it shaking all
Yeah.
around, I'm like,
But the
cool.
funniest thing is they have those big like black visors like go with their
Uh-huh.
helmets. And I'm sure if that visor was see-through, you would just see their face be like they look so calm until I'm sure you take off that visor and they're just like, oh my God. Oh,
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. The downhill is just amazing. My favorite is ski jump. The ski
oh
jump.
yeah,
I
those are so
love
cool.
that. They just shoot right off of there.
Or like the snowboarding.
Snowboarding,
Those
yes.
tricks, I can't even imagine anyone's
Mhm.
body moving as quickly as that does.
No, me
Like
either.
they're
They
amazing.
twist and turn and flip upside down
Yeah.
and then what's the new sport? It's a winter sport, but it's got something to do with skateboard cross or something like that. Skiboard cross. It's like a cross. It's a little arena they have, and they go up and down, and there's like four or five of them get out of the
Oh, and
way.
they're on the skates?
Yeah, they're on the snowboard, and
No.
they go out, and they go up hills and down on a snowboard, and they wreck into each other,
I've
and
seen the ones where it's like where they have the skates on each foot and then they're going up and down those hills. I haven't seen the ones where they have the snowboard though. That
oh,
sounds interesting.
it's a fun, it's great because they just take off,
They
and
go so fast
and they go up and
oh
down and they go on curves and then sometimes the guy wipes out at the
yeah.
end of the hill. The other guy comes over the hill, he can't see him.
And he's like flying 10 feet in the air.
Yes, and he
Yeah.
goes past them. Oh,
It's wild.
that's pretty wild. And then hockey, um, yeah, anything outside. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like
They
winter
do some really
sports.
cool stuff.
The
Is
ice
that
skating, ice skating. I like the ice skating
yeah.
definitely. I like the pairs ice skating because it's more creative. They can do more interesting things.
So is the Winter Olympics this year or is it next year?
Where everything's mixed up because
Oh yeah.
last year it was supposed to be in 2020, but of
Yeah.
course, everything was the
We were a little
virus,
busy.
this virus, and messed up everything. So
Yeah.
now we get the 2020 Olympics in 2021.
Yes.
Yay! Well, I feel bad for the people that have all those signs that they have to,
Oh,
plaster.
yeah.
They have to plaster a number 1 over the 0,
All that work.
all that money went into all of that. And now they're just going to, and there's not time. They're not going to have time to reprint all
No.
that stuff because that started years ago, so they're just going to get a big old 1 and
Yep. Just a question. All right, guys. Well, that is it for Sports Force this week. Thank you for enjoying it with us, not Chris and not Bill.
right.
I think we did pretty good.
Yeah. So see ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Close.